right? Which comes down to man through natural laws and through divine laws. This is why you must receive your divine creed, your descent, right? Everything from Allah to you as his child, from Allah to man, is your natural right, is your natural descent, or your national descent, right? Because it comes to you down through the nations. Right? Now this means that your descent is your national inheritance from your ancient forefathers and from them all the way back to Allah. Without the primary principle of the spirit, you cannot have the secondary of the national. That you have nothing but the tertiary, which is the third or third party giving you its marks. Right? You remember the last marks we received from a tertiary or third party person, or a third party group, organization, or foreign nation leaders and gods that we chased after, abandoning our own salvation, our own works for ourselves, our own uplifting acts for ourselves. Back to divine constitution and bylaws, Acts 6 and 7. And after chasing those foreign gods, right, we received after chasing the foreign gods, we received the marks of their people, right, who had received or derived their power and authority for their salvation from those gods. Because they were their gods, or their national governments, their leadership, their appointed people for them. And when we chase after that, we automatically set ourselves into a slave position. Right? Now, so the fact is that this here in America is a free national republic. And every free national republic in the world recognizes nature and nature's God. Because they all recognize nature as a part of creation. And thus, to have been created, right, for nature to have been created, there must be a creator. Nature's God. There must be a creator. Right? And they all recognize that it is a part of the creator that is within man, the spirit. Or actually is man. Because it is not a flesh, a thing, or bones, or reason. You are not the body. You are the spirit. Right? Or also called the spirit man. Also called the human spirit. And this is where your true sovereignty comes from as a human being. Also called, and the powers that you have are given to you by the God or nature's God, which become your human rights. Right? So, as no part of creation can literally enslave the creator, right, who is all powerful, almighty, and omnipotent over his creation, right? So as no part of creation can become the master ruler over Allah, or the part of Allah within you, right? Unless that part that's within you, the spirit within you, chooses to allow itself to be enslaved mentally, where it allows itself to believe that parts of creation are over it, like they do in astrology, where they call the certain planets their rulers. Certain signs that's going to determine what they do and don't do, and how they act and don't act, and who they marry and don't marry. Instead of realizing that the spirit is omnipotent, the spirit is part of Allah, and nothing on this plane dictates to Allah. Right? But that's the slave mentality. So once you accept that, chasing after those foreign gods, chasing after everything but what is within you, you become a slave. Right? Now, so when we give our nationality, we proclaim our nationality, we're proclaiming that we are going to chase after the spirit that is within us. And we're going to use that to manifest our omnipotence through the nation. Right? Now, this part of Allah living within man, or existing within man, right, which is the living image and likeness of Allah, is the source of your sovereign rights, your sovereign powers, your sovereign jurisdiction. And all this is called equal rights, human rights, natural rights, your birthright. And because it is a guaranteed protection by the free national constitution of this free national republic, it is also your constitutional rights and your civil rights, because the civil rights are those rights based upon the Constitution. Now, every single European under the Constitution knows that as American citizens, they are termed men, or termed free men, free nationals, free citizens, popular sovereign, sovereign people, sovereign citizens, etc. Not one of them sees being a citizen of the free national republic of the United States of America as being slaves, or in slavery, or enslavement. So why would we, as American citizens, right, Moorish Americans, as American citizens, why would we see this as being slavery if it is told to us that all men are free and equal, or created free and equal, thus making us just as equal as sovereign citizens, popular sovereign, free men, free citizens, so on and so forth. right? Once you understand that your sovereignty is not based on what is written on a piece of paper, but what is within you, and all that goes, it goes away. This stands true, right, for the members of the Moorish American nation. Because once we have seen the truth, we have proclaimed who we are, we know who we are. We are sovereign. We don't need to go become a foreign sovereign or a sovereign to another nation. We already know who we are, and what we are, and what we're supposed to be doing. Right? So this stands true for the members of the Moorish American nation here on the shores of North America. The words nation and nature share the same root. Natio from nature. And thus, every nation is a part of nature or natural. And international law, the laws of nations, is also called natural law. Right? To fully understand this, one must realize that nature or nata means birth, to give birth to. And this is speaking of the physical birth of the physical body, not the spirit, because the spirit is not born. Right? The spirit was not created. Right? It is from before there was time, and it will exist after there is time, which is the vibrations of the 7 ether planes in motion. Now, thus when we speak of nations, right, we are speaking of the physical people, the physical bodies. But as the human body is not made of the same matter as the spirit, it is made more or so of the same matter of the materials, the physical matter, the manifest matter of the that you see on the planet Earth, what we call soil and ground and trees and everything else. Then just like they can become property, the physical body can be considered property or termed under property, right? Because it can be controlled, it can be maneuvered. It does not think. It is inanimate, right? It can become property. But the spirit can never be property except to itself, which is why I said earlier, it must fool itself, or it must allow itself to believe that something else is over the master of it. Even if someone puts you in chains, that's only the body. They can't enslave your spirit. They cannot make you think what they want you to think, unless you let them make you think that. Right? This is the lesson of Jesus in the heroism degree. When he was in chains and animals was around him, he realized who was really the sovereign. He was the spirit within. And all the chains fell off. Right? Now, since the spirit can never be property except to itself, which is the creator within, it is the creator of all this creation, right? You are now, and always have been, the children of our Father God Allah. And as the seed of Allah, you're sovereign. Automatically. So know thyself and thy Father God Allah. And every nation of the world, as a part of nature, has its God, or recognizes a God over itself. It thus has to adhere to all natural divine laws of that God or creator of nature, of the nation, of the national descendancy. This is one of the great importances of our divine creed based upon the divine plan of the ages by Father Allah. You are not considered a person, a human being, a spirit, without the recognition of your Father Allah, which the spirit is a part of. Right? Without that, you're just flesh and bones. You're just property, matter. You can be enslaved. You can receive the marks of a slave. Right? Now, you yourself must recognize and proclaim your Father God Allah. You must proclaim your divine creed. You must proclaim the religious or the religion passed down from generation to generation from your national descent. Right? No one else can do this for you. The spirit itself is not property. It is the owner of the property. But you must proclaim this. You must acknowledge this. That's why I told you before the hereby on the nationality card also represented the here now on chapter 1 of the Holy Quran of NCV. Because the here now was talking about the spirit. So it's saying hereby is here now. Here now, everyone. Hear the fact that through this proclamation of our nationality, right, we are claiming our acknowledgement of the true sovereign, which is where our true sovereignty comes from.